Gotham Guardians and Arkham Adversaries. It's your boy Train as Wonder Wife Sara, and we just got back from the movie theaters checking out Alien Romulus. If you haven't seen this film yet, have no fear.
Well, maybe a little. It is an alien movie.
That's a fair point. It's a fair point. But this will be a spoiler-free movie review, so no need for Mother to sound the alarms just yet. Romulus is another solid entry in the Alien franchise. Wonder Wife and I did do a little binge of all the Alien movies, from Prometheus all the way to even Alien Resurrection. So we don't talk about it. But I gotta say, this movie within the first 3 minutes, like, immediately transports you right back into the world. Stars, spaceships, old school retro analog computers, like, yep, we back in this sci-fi space horror galaxy with the terrifying perfect specimen of H.R. Giger's design, the Xenomorphs. As Sarah and I always like to discuss first, because it's the most important part of any film, the story. While a solid entry, this film tends to feel like an echo of the entire Alien saga.
It's very much nostalgic, but it does feel a little bit repetitive.
Yeah, I mean, part of me thinks it's fantastic fan service, because there are like ton of Easter eggs, nods that will have any Alien fan pointing like the meme from Leo DiCaprio.
Whoa, whoa. Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
But it's almost as if it were rehashing some scenes and plot points from pretty much all the Alien movies, where it really didn't offer much anything new.
I mean, it definitely expands on some of those ideas, especially towards the end of the third act. But all in all, the movie was mainly a mashup of your favorite moments and adds maybe a few intriguing concepts that I would love to see them do a deeper dive into. But the story almost doesn't capture those ideas and hold on to them, and it sacrifices it for nostalgia, for fan service. So it becomes more of an afterthought rather than the focus of what gives this movie its own identity.
For those of you, I would highly recommend binging those movies previously and after this movie is set for the most experience that you're going to get out of this movie. If this movie is the first time you've seen anything in Alien, then we want to know what your thoughts are in the comments. What, do you like this movie? Did you think it was a good movie standalone? Or do you wish that you would watch the other movies for more context? Because this movie definitely fits in like a puzzle piece to the franchise. I
agree. If you're not an Alien fan and haven't seen any of the earlier films, I'm not certain this would be an easy movie to jump into, especially if it's your first entry, because the story is really dependent on what came before it, basically. And it would be interesting if this was the chest burst to your cherry of Alien films on this one. So I would love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments about it as well. So let us know. The cast is very intimate in a way. I think there's only 6 of them really, and it's similar to the first Alien film, and having such a small cast really creates that sense of isolation and loneliness, which works for the consistency of the overall tone of this franchise. One particular character that stood out to me especially was the android character Andy.
Oh, absolutely. I loved his story the most.
I agree. David Jonsson did an absolute incredible job with this character. Like, his story was so intriguing because you get one side of him in the beginning, and then it flips immediately into this completely different personality, and it was like, wow, this dude's got range.
Right? You see a huge range from acting, and with him in this movie, it's just chef's kiss.
Oh, absolutely. And I will say some major pros of this movie. Clearly, the director, Fede Alvarez, he's clearly an Alien fan, for sure.
Absolutely.
The tons of nods and Easter eggs they had in there, and the scenes they were able to just shoot that felt like the cinematography of all the Alien films, that you definitely feel back into this world. You get those wild action sequences, even some terrifying moments that kind of reminded me of the video game Alien Isolation, which literally I had like chills go up my spine because I was like, I remember that. I remember that
You
feeling.
definitely clenched.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I was like, oh, I know what they're going through because I've been through it. I mean, the sets and props are phenomenal. It has that retro feel to it with also that futuristic vibe. But I will say, never, ever underestimate the power and use of practical effects over CGI. One of my biggest complaints with Alien Covenant was the use of CGI, especially with the xenomorph. And to see the puppeteering with the alien, it was like, oh, it took you back. You're like, that's the way to do it. You know, it's just so well done. So fantastic job there. And the music.
Oh, the music.
So awesome. Benjamin Wallfish did the composition, the score for this movie, and it really does have that same vibe of the other films, but it even has a few callbacks to some of the previous films. I won't say which because that will give anything away, but make sure if you're a big Alien and music fan, listen closely. Would you recommend seeing Alien Romulus to
Oh, absolutely, and especially in Dolby.
Oh, I totally agree. This film in Dolby, the sound design was spectacular for this movie, especially. I mean, for all the movies we've seen, I would say so far this film this year was probably the best in Dolby.
I would agree. And we sat a little bit closer to the screen than we usually do, but I'm not even mad about it.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
it added to the experience.
I agree. I mean, the different clickings, the noises you hear in the surround sound, you're like, you feel there, and it's quite an intense scenes that happen that you're like, oh, like I feel like there's an alien behind me. Those face hugger popcorn buckets from AMC.
Those were cool.
I really wanted one, but I have so many already. But seeing everyone in the theater have them, I was like, that was pretty cool to see that. But in terms of scoring Alien Romulus, if this video gets enough likes and engagement, Wonder Wife and I will do a spoiler review where we will announce our scores and reveal all the Easter eggs we caught in our deeper dive.
Next week, we will also be giving our franchise ranking for all the films within the Alien franchise.
So remember to smash that like, share this video, subscribe to our channel, and leave a comment telling us your thoughts about Alien Romulus, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. I'm your host, Trey, with his Wonder Wife Sara. And don't forget to tune in weekly.
Same bad time.
Same bad channel.
You have my sympathies.